up, everybody? It's a Power Rankings podcast, aka the Power Rankings Show. I'm your host, Elliot Harrison, and I am pleased to be joined on this Monday night with See, now that I'm on video, I could really hold this for like ever.
I know. Crazy.
Marcus_Mosher. Hello, sir.
Elliot, what is going on, buddy?
Is that green or brown?
My shirt?
Yeah.
It's a gray shirt.
We had a Ford Pinto on our street that was very. Do you know what a Ford Pinto looked like?
Yeah,
it was very close to that.
Listen,
color.
I am a proud
stripes.
owner of a Ford F-150. I know everything about Fords now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Hey, can we talk a little bit AFC football?
Yes. So last week we did the NFC win totals, the kind of the over unders on. Did we use Bet Online last week for that? And this week, we promised that we were going to do the AFCs on Monday. So here we are. We're going to go through all the AFC teams. Not a lot of major news in the NFL. Sometimes we start with a news item. But, right now, everyone's kind of gearing up for the draft. Both the teams are gearing up for the draft. The players are gearing up for the draft. And the analysts out there are gearing up for the draft. So we thought it was a good time, though, to talk about win totals when we're still a few weeks away from the draft. Did you use Bet Online again for the AFC?
Of course
teams?
we do. Of course.
Okay, we going alphabetical by city?
Yes, it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, you're not very good at this though. You always skip.
I got them in alphabetical order though. We're good. At least I think I do.
All right, what do we got?
What's first of all, Baltimore Ravens over under 8.5 wins. I have no idea how you can bet on this one right now.
Yeah, this is I hate to start with a walk away, but we're going to start with a walk away. It's too unknown with the quarterback. My lean would be in the next few days if Lamar Jackson all of a sudden is miraculously definitely going to be a Raven, then we don't know, but I would go over, but we don't know Jack right now. So I will say walk away.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's just a wait and see there, because if Lamar signs, he's going to, that's going to be moved up to 9.5. If it's not, it's going to be down to 6.5. So stay away. Next one, Buffalo Bills, 10.5 wins.
I knew it was going to be 10.5. I knew it was going to be right on the nose. Let's talk about the Bills' opponents. So what's the AFC division they're playing this year, and what's the NFC division they're playing this
year? AFC is the AFC West, and then they play the NFC East.
That's not easy. That's no cakewalk. Chargers are going to be good. Chiefs are going to be good. Broncos are going to be better. I think Washington's going to be about the same. I think Giants are going to be about the same. I think Philadelphia and Dallas actually could be a little bit better. Especially if Jalen Hurts moves forward. But this Bills team is just too doggone good for me to think they're going to go like 9-8 or even 10-7's tough. I think I'm going to lean to the over here. I really want to know about Von Miller though. Don't you, on some level?
I just hope that he's healthy by like Thanksgiving, right? Like just get him ready for the playoffs and that stretch run. But I like the over here. Josh Allen was banged up last year with that elbow injury, and they still won, was it 12, 13 games? So they're going to be just fine.
They didn't get a really great year from Gabe Davis, but I feel like Von Miller's absence wasn't talked about enough last year. So I'm going to go over. We're both over on that. Okay.
Cincinnati Bengals, 11.5 wins.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I love the Bengals. Let's talk Bengals opponents. I mean, we start in their division. Cleveland's better. Baltimore, we don't know. And Pittsburgh's kind of weak. So we're good there. But what about when we get to NFC and AFC outside of their own division?
Here's the good thing. AFC South.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, I mean, 3. Yeah. And then the NFC West. And I think they'll be okay in the NFC West. But they also play NFC North is their other game, which is going to happen to be the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think they're going to be afraid of the Vikings at all. So this is tough.
You know what? I'm more inclined to go the over here than the under, because just saying that, I like 3-1 in the AFC South. I like 3-1 in the NFC West. I like them to beat Minnesota, depending on where that game is, but I think they're better than Minnesota. That makes them 7-2 right there. If the Ravens don't have Lamar, make that 9-2. Cleveland split 10-3. We'll call it a Pittsburgh split. We're at 11-3. I mean, am I missing anything here?
No, I mean, the problem is that you're under, right?
Not at 11-3. I didn't name all their opponents. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I haven't even gotten to 4 losses yet with 11 wins.
That's just such a big number, but this team is really good. Really good.
I'm going over. I'm going in.
Next one, Cleveland Browns, 9 wins.
Do you remember in Predator? Oh, wait, that's right. You never saw Predator. Never mind. God, it's so disappointing. Almost as disappointing as the Browns defense last year was.
Cleveland Browns, 9 wins.
That's pretty good. I actually thought it was going to be 9.5. I will take the over on Cleveland for much of the same reasons the Bengals. I like the way the schedule lays out. I think Deshaun Watson will be better. I like some of the moves they made in the offseason. Give me I'm going to go 10-7 here. I'll go 9-8-1 or 9-7-1. I won't
Yeah, it
lose
would be
money.
very Browns like to get a tie. I just have no feel. I think this defense is going to be a lot better with Jim Schwartz. I think Deshaun Watson's going to play significantly better than we saw down the stretch last year. But to bet on them to win 10 games is a lot. I think I'm going to stay away.
Would a Nick Chubb trade at the deadline? Well, you're staying away. Would a Nick Chubb trade at the draft make you go under?
No.
Okay. You love Nick Chubb.
I do love Nick Chubb. Best running back in the league. Denver Broncos. Next up. Over under 8.5 wins. Give me the under on that all day long.
Why?
Because I think this first year under Sean Payton is going to be very much a transition period. Just try to figure out the roster, figure out who's here to stay. And then 2024 is when they go for it.
I'm walking away from this one. I think that's an unknown at quarterback. I think it's an unknown at head coach. I think they made a lot of moves to improve their football team. And they lost some close games last year when they got nothing from their offense. It's hard for me to see this team go like 7-10. So in order to go under, you're banking on 8-9. I think it's closer that they could go 9-8 or 10-7 than only 8-9, if that makes sense. I like the percentages to go over here, but I don't love it. That's why I would walk away.
Next one, Houston Texans over 5.5 wins.
The problem is quarterback. I hate to say it. It's another walk away. I want to go over. I really do. I have a lot of faith in D'Amico Ryans, but we just don't know the quarterback situation for them. Mm-hmm. Why bet on this one when you have 16 teams in the AFC to choose from?
Because I think D'Amico Ryans is going to find a way to grind out wins in that crappy conference, right? Like they're playing the NFC South. Could you see them going 2-2 in the NFC South?
Absolutely.
This year?
Yeah.
They play the NFC West as the 17th game, which I believe that's going to be, is that the Cardinals?
Yeah. And they beat the Jags last year.
Yeah. And they're
straight up.
And they always have a lot of luck against Indianapolis, who's likely going to be starting a rookie quarterback.
3-3 in their division.
You go 3-3 in division, they're easily going over 5.5 wins. Easily.
Yeah, I'll let you do that one. I'm walking away from that. Okay, what's up?
Next one, Jacksonville Jaguars, 10 wins. That's a big number.
Do you know the song "What's Up" by Four Non Blondes?
No.
Okay, go ahead. What was it again?
10 wins for Jacksonville.
Some really expectations tonight. That is real expectations. But boy, they go 3-1 against the NFC South. Maybe they coast a little bit on their division, hit, 4-2. Now you're looking at 7 wins. You said, what is it, 9.5?
10, just straight up 10. So they've got to win 11 games for you to win that bet.
But they also have to go 9-8 for you to lose.
Which I still think is very likely, right? I could see them being 9-8.
This is another one I don't love, to be honest, to bet on. I would lean if you're like saying, no, I want to bet on the Jags. I would lean the under, which I think is what you're saying.
Yeah. Next one, Kansas City Chiefs, 11.5 wins.
Ooh, I was going to guess 10.5 on this. I think I might be inclined to go under here. I see the Chiefs going 11-6.
Do you know the last time the Chiefs won 11 or fewer games?
It's been a while.
2017. They were 10-6.
Yeah. Then again, you got to go 12-5 with the team that's not stronger. Okay.
But they went 14-3 last year.
Yeah, that's true too. They're in a tough conference, home/cheese.
They've got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I think they'll be okay.
They lost Juju. You worried about wide receiver at all for this team?
If you were going to be worried about wide receiver, last year was the year to be worried about it, right? Like, but it's so clear that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes can just figure it out.
Believing in Tony? You believing in Tony to step up, take over some of that production?
Absolutely not, but they'll find somebody.
Yeah, you're a big Pacheco guy. All right, so Marcus says the over. I'm going to defer to my partner on this one.
This just sounds like free money to me. Next one, Las Vegas Raiders, 7.5 wins.
Again, you have great unknown here with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. They're in a tough division. Let's talk about the Raiders' opponents this year.
Yeah, it's not easy. AFC East,
1-3,
NFC North.
I'll give them a 2-2 there and a 1-3. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Okay, so now you're looking at 3-5. Now you go in division. Could you see a 2-4 in the division?
I think that's almost best case scenario. They never.
Now you're looking at, so that's 5-9. So if you go 5-9, are you going to get to 8 wins? No. So I would take the under on the Raiders.
Yeah, that defense has a chance to be really bad this year. After not really spending anything in free agency, losing Denzel Perryman, I'm taking the under.
They need pass rush help next to Max Crosby. They need it.
Yeah.
They didn't get it enough last year.
Next one, Miami Dolphins, 9.5 wins.
I'm going over. I'm going over. I'm in on this Dolphins team. I think you were a year early on them, but better to be a year early than a year late. Give me the Dolphins for at least 10-7 this year.
I think the difference is now their defense can legitimately win games by themselves, right? If Tua's just not playing well, there's a backup quarterback in the game. I think their defense with Vic Fangio, they can hold teams to 21 points and win a game like that. I love this Miami team. I'm over as well.
We did a podcast a few weeks ago. In between, we've done a lot of podcasts, things on Daniel Day-Lewis movies and The Name of the Father and Marcus's favorite. What was it called about the thread? Phantom Thread. That's a good movie. You guys should watch that. If you want to see a movie about wedding dresses and stuff, that movie takes the cake.
It's a bad way.
I know, bad way to sell it. But somewhere in all those podcasts, we talked about some big time acquisitions. And I mentioned to you then, we don't ever really consider coordinators as part of like the offseason acquisitions, but this was as good as acquisition of personnel to your team as any in the league.
I agree.
I loved it.
All right, next one. New England Patriots.
That was a long walk.
New England Patriots over 7.5 wins.
It's really hard to bet on the Patriots going 7-10. At the same time, them doing better than 8-9 in this division is tough for me. Let's talk Patriots opponents.
Yeah, so it's not easy. That AFC East just itself is tough. They play the AFC West and the NFC East.
Yeah, I like 2-2 in the AFC West. I'm thinking maybe more like 1-3 in the NFC East, and in the division could be a fat 2-4. So if they don't split even if they do split against the NFC East, if we have them split against the West, split against the NFC East, that makes them 4-4, right? Then they go 2-4 in the AFC East. You're looking at 6-8. It's going to be tough to get to 8-9. You're going to have to win 2 of the 3 other games. And that's just to barely get over the 7.5.
I'm taking the Patriots over 7.5 wins pretty comfortably, to be honest.
Even with that schedule.
I think. You tell me a coordinator upgrade that is as big as going from Matt Patricia to Bill O'Brien, because I don't see that. And I think everything that could have went wrong for this team last year did. Mac Jones got hurt. They had a quarterback controversy. They lost.
Aren't you worried about the AFC East?
Yes, but Bill Belichick does so well against those teams, right? He does so well against the Jets, and he's going to find a way to at least split with the Dolphins. I just think they get to like 9-8, and they're probably a borderline playoff team.
You guys know Marcus is serious when he starts talking like, yeah, but when you lower it down, or when
listen, I'm just saying this team the defense is really good, and I think the offense has a chance to be average. And if they're average, they're getting to 9 wins.
When you start talking about a DJ that's going to queue up some Toto or Air Supply on the Love Channel, I know you're serious. I'll take the over with you.
Okay.
I was just kind of being devil's advocate, I guess you could say.
Jets, 9.5 wins.
Pretty tough with the quarterback situation being up there to bet up there, as in up there in the ether. We don't really know what's going to happen there. I think it's a tall order to bet your money on the Jets going 10-7 in that division with that unknown.
Especially after we already picked the Bills to go over, the Dolphins to go over, and the Patriots to go over.
Yeah, I think I'd be more inclined to walk away or go under.
Yeah, I think I'd go under. I think 9-8 is just where they end up, right? And maybe Maybe they get to 10 wins, maybe get to 11 wins. But I think it's going to take Rodgers a little bit of time to get used to these receivers, assuming they trade for Aaron Rodgers.
I'll be honest with me. Unless they trade for who?
Aaron Rodgers. Well, I'm just saying that trade ever happens.
You mean Lamar Jackson?
No, not going to happen.
Hey, don't you think it's a lot smarter to lay it down for the Bills or Dolphins than the Patriots or Jets?
Yes, I 100% agree.
Okay. What's up next?
Pittsburgh Steelers over 8.5 wins. Now, I want to remind you, Elliot, that Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record the entire time he's been the Steelers head coach. So with that in mind,
what does Kenny Pickett do? I think it really comes down to that. I hate to make it about the quarterback, but I haven't made it about the quarterback on all these other teams like you do. You always take the low hanging fruit, dropping Patrick Mahomes on me. Well, yeah. But by the way, you did skip the Los Angeles Chargers, so you never go in alphabetical like you say you're going to. I got you again. You always do that. But that's okay. It's part of your charm. I'm not going over on this, bro. Not doing it. 8-1.
To keep the streak alive?
Yeah, Cam Sutton was a little bit of a loss in the secondary. I wonder about this defense a little bit, especially if TJ Watt gets hurt again. I think they're done. There's no way they get to 9 wins.
I'm actually going to take them to go over. I think Mike Tomlin is really good at grinding out wins. And you look at the teams that they play. They play the AFC South in the NFC West. I think they go 2-2 in the NFC West, and I think they go at least 3-1 in the AFC South.
I'll give you this. If Lamar Jackson's not on the Ravens, then they could do this. But if it's Lamar Jackson on the Ravens and Cleveland's better and Cincinnati, Pittsburgh could go 1-5 in their division.
It could, but I could very easily see them sweeping Cleveland, splitting with Cincinnati, and beating Baltimore both times, just like they did last year.
I know what you're doing. Let me tell you, all of you guys, what Marcus is doing right now. He's laying the groundwork for him to have something to cheer for. He bets on this. If the Steelers go over, he wins money. If they go under, he's happy. And he's actually happier if he loses money and they go under, so he can hear the talk radio people cry.
Yes.
I know how he works.
Yeah. That's the way you should bet, everybody. Bet a way that makes you happy on both sides. Let's go back to your Los Angeles Chargers at 9.5 wins.
Give me the over on that. I will take them at 10. I am a little worried about the schedule, just a little bit. I like. Give me the Chargers parka this year. I'm down with it.
I mean, I know we say this every year, but it seems like everything went wrong for them last year, and they still made the playoffs, right? Justin Herbert got hurt. Was that week 2? J.C. Jackson was out for the year by week 3. Keenan Allen missed the first half of the season. Mike Williams was dealing with injury. Bosa, Khalil Mack was banged up. I think they've improved this offseason. They improved their coaching staff, and they're getting all those guys back healthy. Oh, we should also mention Rashawn Slater, their Pro Bowl left tackle, missed almost the entire year with the torn pec. So I'm in on this team.
And the year before, it took a Herculean single-man effort by Max Crosby and just the wildest game ever to keep them out of the playoffs. The year before that, would you say it was 9.5 or straight up 10?
9.5.
Yeah.
So they go 10-7, you win it.
Yeah, I'll take that over all day.
All right. The hardest one for me, the Tennessee Titans, 7.5 wins.
Oh, I was afraid you were going to say that. That's perfect. Isn't that perfect?
Yes.
I'm talking about from Bet Online.
Yeah.
That's right where it should be. How do you bet on this?
I don't think you can. I think you just stay away, right?
My inclination, if you're like, nah, but I want to lay $5 on it just because I want to lay $5 on every team. Okay. I would go with the over because the head coach, how gritty this team plays, and the fact the division that they're in. And the same point you made for the Houston Texans. You look at the AFC South schedule, and you were saying, hey, couldn't Houston squeeze some games? Didn't they play the NFC South?
Yes.
Over in the NFC? Yeah. Could Tennessee run the table against the NFC South?
Yeah. Would not shock me.
It wouldn't shock me. So I would lean over, but I'm fine with your walkaway because I have some pretty strong ones that you can bet on.
Okay, there you go. Those are all 16 AFC teams. The ones that we like the best, I think we like the Chargers the best, over 9.5 wins. I got to say.
I like Miami a lot.
Yeah.
I think that was 9.5 wins. You liked Kansas City a lot. I still like the Bills at 10.5. The Browns. the Browns. What do we have them at? 9
and a half
9.5
wins. They have to go 10-7.
Okay, I could see if that one's not as lovable. Yeah, all right. So Chargers, Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins. Any other one you want to add to that mix? Would you go bold on the Texans?
Let's wait. Let's see how the draft plays out before we go bold on them.
I think I might say the Raiders under would be pretty safe.
I do like that one quite a bit. But I think our favorites are Chargers and Dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, man, you got 16, or I said earlier, you have 16 of these, so just pick one or two that you love, or pick one that you want to, either make money on, or you're going to be really happy if they lose, like Marcus is with Pittsburgh, and you're done. So that's my final thought. Just pick the winners. Don't worry about the team. Don't worry about your bias about the Jags or whoever. Pick the ones where what you think is going to happen is so different than what Bet Online here has decided is going to happen.
Yes.
But I want you to pull some football cards.
There you go. Pull one from my 1995 Pinnacle set. Okay.
Okay. 28 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. This will be fun. Let's see it.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my gosh. That's Randall Cunningham. Looks like, well, that's a game from 94, because you could see the 75 patch on the sleeve. And that makes sense. He barely played in 95. Well, it's 95, so it's going to be the 94 season. Does that look like the 49ers they're playing?
I think so. Isn't it?
Yeah. I know what game that is. The Eagles went into San Francisco. That's the year the 49ers won the Super Bowl, okay? And the Eagles beat them 40-8. I am so confident on that score. I'm almost sure of it. I'd be willing to bet you $500. The Eagles beat the 49ers 40-8 that year. And the thing that was most memorable from that game is George Seifert, Marcus, did something you almost never see a coach do. He benched Steve Young in the middle of a series, okay? Not in between. Yeah, he pulled him out of the huddle on second down, and Steve Young was ticked off. What do we
just showing the back of the card.
That's a really cool back of the card.
That's why I like this.
Not a great year, though, for him statistically, though. The Eagles, I think that year, it started like, I want to say 7-2 and missed the playoffs. They or maybe 9-2. They lost like 7 games in a row.
Most 94. Underrated quarterback of the 90s. Just
look out.
We talked about this before.
Look out. But by the way, after Steve Young got benched in that game, he was ticked off. 49ers ran the table pretty much and beat the Cowboys in the championship, beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl. So, and Steve Young was MVP of the league. So there you go. You could make a case that Steve Young is the most underrated quarterback of the 90s, even though he's in the Hall of Fame.
I think he's one of just the most underrated quarterbacks of all time. When we talk about the best quarterbacks ever, Steve Young's name never gets mentioned. It's Dan Marino, John Elway, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Montana. Nobody ever really mentioned Steve Young, but his numbers in the 90s were absolutely bonkers.
I agree. And I always say he and Roger Staubach's games would translate so well today.
To any era, in my opinion.
So kudos to Steve Young, but Randall obviously had a great career as well. That's it for us. Marcus, you can catch his Cowboys takes on Locked On Cowboys. He does it with Landon McCool. Give Landon a follow. And then also Marcus covers the Raiders for USA Today, where he's predicting them to go like 5-12. And he writes for PFF.com. He's at Marcus_Mosher on Twitter. I'm at Harrison NFL on Twitter. And we appreciate you guys. And maybe we'll do another power ranking short. In the meantime, we'll have a big podcast on Wednesday. Take care, everybody.